Pelicans lose 141-117. Before we get in the show, smash that like button. I am just here so I don't get fined. Ross and Chaz are actually going to run the show tonight. Let's do it.
First took away. After this, get your money's worth out.
Presented to you by the Birdsall Law Firm, the official injury lawyers of Pro Pels Talk, located at 19 Poydras Street by the Superdome. Give them a call at 504-523-5413. If you or someone you know has been involved in an accident, Birdsall Law Firm, the official injury lawyers of Pro Pels Talk. Chaz and Ross, as I mentioned, Ross and Chaz are going to run this show tonight. I am just going to be here to watch, to be entertained. I'll be playing the DraftKings read. And also, I want y'all to drive the show. All these comments I got, I'm going to star these comments, these questions. I'm going to let these guys just run the show. Chaz and Ross, Saturday Night Live. Chaz, go ahead.
I think Willie Green should be fired. I think, honestly, I think Willie Green should have been on the hot seat. Like, rumors about him being on the hot seat should have carried over from last season, because even with Zion being out, no competent coach loses 10 games in a row. Like, that just doesn't happen. When you look at what the team is doing now against good teams, mind you, look, Milwaukee's older. They're without Chris Middleton. They don't have a head coach, and they're also on the second night of a back-to-back. And they're 28 defensively or something like that. This is not a great defensive team. Also, they didn't even play well. Like, they didn't even play that well, in my opinion. Bobby Porter, shout out to Bobby Porter, so I wanted to trade for. But the Pelicans are just a soft team. They're soft. They're a physically soft team. They're an extension of Willie Green. He's a soft head coach. Comes across as just a soft leader altogether. They just set this fucking team record playing one way. They show up the following game with the same cast of people. Well, they missed one game. Zion was out. They show up the following game with the same cast of people and play a totally different way. They regress to the way they've been playing prior to that. It's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. It's I think Willie Green he's not the only problem, but he's a huge part of the problem. He's a terrible head coach, probably a great assistant, I'm sure. Terrible head coach. Really shouldn't be out there leading anyone anywhere. I think this team goes as far as Willie Green goes right now, and he's one of the 2-3 anchors really holding this team back, in my opinion.
Ross, go ahead.
Couldn't have said it better myself. There's enough blame to go around. I've got a million opinions on this, but for me, the biggest, like, this falls on Willie Green. I don't. I've had people on Twitter here in the last handful of minutes tell me things like, we haven't seen enough, or, it's only been 50 games, or this, that, or the other. Nope. You've got teams with championship aspirations that are firing coaches when their team is 30-13. Okay. I respect Willie Green as a human being. I think he's probably a fucking great guy. Never met him before in my life, but he seems like just an honest guy with integrity. This is not about Willie Green, the human being. This is about Willie Green, the head basketball coach. He is not equipped to do this job. He has proven that now. I think we all had optimism after that first year when he injected some life into this team, but it has fallen lifeless over the last year and a half. This team is heading toward and healthy, mind you. This is a healthy team. This was the whole thing we all kept bitching about, right? This was the backbone. This was the backdrop. This was the justification we all gave for years. Well, we haven't seen it healthy. We haven't seen it healthy. We haven't seen this. We haven't seen that. We have now seen it. How much do you need to fucking see?
At least, 40-something games at this point?
How much do you need to see to know that this isn't it? This is not the man to lead this team to a championship or to compete for a championship. And a step down from him, or really a step up from him, I don't know that we have the organization in place to lead us to a championship, and I don't know that we have the players in place to lead us to a championship. Changes have to be made.
So I'm going to ask y'all a question then. So
I'd love you to ask a question.
because a lot of people have different opinions on this. Because a lot of people are okay with just the play-in. A lot of people say, well, your expectations of 50 wins is ridiculous. Your expectations of a championship is ridiculous. So, no, I'm just going off of what people are saying.
I don't think.
What would y'all say to that? No, I'm just saying, what would y'all say to that?
I'm trying to figure out who the fuck ever really said championship. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think we've all been pretty straightforward. Like, look, man, maybe, you need at least a top six, avoid the play-in, try to win a series, you know what I'm saying? But you're talking about year 5 of this tandem, this front office, year 5 of their tenure. Several of their groups that have started rebuilding around the same time have already surpassed them. Then you got you have a fucking gluttony of first round picks that you had or you made selections upon, and it's just nothing has panned out. You got 3 max players right now, not really panning out for them. You're not best utilizing them. You know what I'm saying? It's just too many things that are working against this organization. You got a cheap owner who's totally fucking incompetent, probably doesn't even know there was a game today. And people just saying, like, it's too many politics involved. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's too many politics involved. People are afraid to say shit. It's like, look, man, at the end of the day, this organization has been bad for quite some time. The worst thing that happened to this team was them making the play-in and falling face forward into that playoff series and Devin Booker getting hurt. If Devin Booker doesn't get hurt, we're probably not having this conversation right now because they probably make those changes. Paul George doesn't get sick, we're probably not having this conversation right now because they probably make those changes. Those are the 2 worst incidents that happened to this team under this particular tenure.
They just happen to happen back to back within a week.
Yep, happened to have back-to-back within a week. And the crazy part is that's why winning every game isn't always a good thing. Or winning, like sometimes you need losses to put things into perspective. So the Pelicans getting lucky. I actually did a show the following season, like the Pelicans get lucky. Getting lucky isn't always a good thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it actually, they took 2 steps forward and 10 steps back. So now, they're chasing their tails here.
Ross, I gotta ask you this question. I don't want to forget it because I see a lot of the comments. I'm going off what y'all are saying. What would you, and maybe it's crazy, what would you like to see different from Willie tonight?
It's not, you can't just look at this as a tonight thing.
Okay.
That's fine. We said last night that this was a law. We were going to lose tonight. Yeah. I thought we were going to lose tonight no matter what. I think they're better than us. Simple as that. They're better than us. They're at home. They lost 2 nights ago against.
They lost last night against Cleveland.
They lost last night against Cleveland, right? I think they're better than us. I don't necessarily blame Willie. I blame what Willie has created, right? And the lack of it. He used the word in his post game, a word that we use a lot, that we don't hold people accountable. He has not created a situation, a culture that holds people accountable and creates a long-term winning. That's this problem that I have is, right, people hear what we say and they equate it to the fact that we are demanding a championship now. We have never once said that. Not one time have we. In fact, I don't know anybody in here that has said that this team is the championship contender this year. I don't know one, not you, not either one of you, no one has. So that is not what we are saying. Our goals for this team were to win somewhere between 47 and 50 games-ish and to win a first round series. That was our goal. That was what we all thought, almost across the board. We thought that would be a positive step in the right direction for this team this year. We no longer look that way, in my opinion. That's a negative. That's a step backward. You're healthy. We're totally healthy. This is the issue that people have to acknowledge. We're not advocating for a title this year. I'm advocating for a step toward a title. Everyone wants to talk about, well, you have to give it time to develop. You have to do this. You have to do. Jonas Valanciunas is in his 30s. CJ is in his 30s. Larry is in his 30s. BI is in year 10. What the fuck are we waiting on? What the fuck do you want to wait on? I'm serious. What does our fan base, what are we waiting on? Seriously. Man, I want an employer like this. Hey, we think you're doing just a good old job. I'm going to increase your pay.
And they're raising ticket prices too.
Everyone's winning other than the team. Everyone's winning other than the team.
A fiend gonna be a fiend, man. They know they can get away with this because, again, it's the gift of low expectations. Once again, for every one of us who can come out and say, "Yo, you got to be better," and there's a lot of people that don't watch other teams play basketball. They don't know what a star player looks like. They don't know what a competent coach looks like. They don't know what a competent organization looks like. Like you look at a team like the Clippers, what they're doing right now, people will say dumb shit. That's how you know people dumb. They'll say shit like, well, the Pelicans and the Clippers got the same number of rings. And it's like, you asshole, do you know how much more money the Clippers have made over the years? Do you know how broad their fan base is? Like, it's just so many things that people just aren't getting. The Pelicans aren't even on a track to becoming competent. In fact, if this extension happens, they're on the track to becoming totally fucked. Like right now, they're fucked financially and they're fucked with the front office. But if like Willie Green gets an extension, if Brandon gets an extension, if you don't figure out what to do with Larry, you know what I'm saying? If you don't address your center position, if Zion doesn't start rising to the occasion, this team is fucked for years and years and years to come. And you finish how you start, man. You finish how you start. They started off incompetent, and that's why they are where they are today. This is a fringe play-in team. They have no shot really at the top four, barring some incredible injury luck and something wild happening. And then they got two. They played the Celtics, who just got blew out by an awesome team, and they play the Rockets, who beat them twice already. Like this could get, and the Spurs, who just beat the Timberwolves tonight by 1 point. This could get ugly for the Pelicans, and you got to make a move.
It's not even about just making the move, right? It's about, I keep hearing this thing about expectations. What I would love to understand what people's expectations were. What were the literally? What were the expectations? Were the expectations to finish seventh and scratch it out for a play-in 7 or 8 this year? If that was the team's expectations, fine. I don't even like mind. That's, I can at least understand somebody saying that. Like, yeah, that was my expectations for the team this year. Okay, great. But if that's your expectations for a team that has a bunch of guys that have been in the NBA for 10 plus years, then you shouldn't be saying, cool, that's my expectations today. Let's double down on that roster next year. Right. You can't say those two things. You cannot do that. That's where my issue is. Those are separate things where those things are moving in opposite directions. You've got an old team not getting better. Okay. We can't double down on that.
So let me go back to, let me ask another question of, there's 40 games left, trade deadlines coming up. They can make changes. They could start winning games. What are y'all's thoughts on that?
Sorry, say it again.
Yeah, there's 40 games left. They're what, 6th or 7th in the West. They're fully healthy. They're in a tough stretch. They've lost to Milwaukee. They've lost to Denver. They've lost to all the good teams. The Clippers.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, we lost to Milwaukee. Our last game against Dallas, we lost.
They have some good wins.
We lost.
They have some good wins. They have some good wins.
How far back we got to go?
Yeah, you probably got to go back. And man, I went back and looked at that December.
We got to go back to what? The Timberwolves.
You said the Utah game at home. The Utah game at home was a good win.
If we're calling the Utah game at home a good win, I'm fucking logging off of this right now. But I don't even want to have the conversation anymore. I seriously don't. I don't like. What are we talking about?
You know why it wasn't a good win and why so many things I can't even really classify those as good wins? Because there's no carryover. You did things one way against Utah. You broke this fucking record and you totally abandoned it tonight, right? It's no carryover. Every time we think we learned something, like, okay, Larry Nance has been starting the second half for 3 games in a row. That shit has failed 3 games in a row. Utah Jazz got the game within about 8 points before Herb did some great shit. You continue to get blown out in OKC, and tonight you got blown out in OKC. It doesn't work. It's been like, stop doing it. Don't shoot that motherfucker no more. Go sit down somewhere.
I see
like,
the dude.
What are we doing?
I see the dude, my dog, saying we did. You're right, my dog. We did brag about it. You're absolutely right. We bragged about the way we played in that game. If you watch the games, have we played anything resembling that style of basketball since then? I'll answer it for you. Fuck no, we have not. We haven't.
That was really
Utah
weird.
has incentive to continue to lose games too. Just that's here or there, but.
My dog's always here, man.
Oh,
he's always my dog's always here. Like whether we agree, disagree, he's always here. Appreciate your support.
I appreciate it.
What do y'all make of that though? Like yo, what? I got my theory on why we changed shit up tonight, but it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Then shout out to you, Joe.
Wait, Chaz, mm-hmm. There was a comment. I want you to elaborate on this. There was a comment. Damn, I'm gonna miss it. I don't know who it was from, but it was something along the lines of, Brandon had a good game tonight, but they've gone away from Point Zion. And you had mentioned that in our group chat when we were talking about it in the game. Why do you think they've gone away? Why do you think they've gone away from that?
I thought tonight was a lot like that Charlotte game, the way it's like, all right, look, we got to get Brandon some looks. We got to get him going. And to me, it totally like just fucked up the flow of the game. Like it fucked, like, not that they had a chance, not that they had a shot at beating these motherfuckers, but it would have been a lot more like of you would have saw the effort there. The Bucks always played the Pelicans well. They got two great guys to defend Zion. But the thing is, you see Zion parked in the corner again. You got the offense, the Florida offense was so fucked up. Even when Brandon was off the floor, you got 4, 5, 6 possessions in a row where fucking Zion doesn't get a touch. He doesn't get a touch, right? And again, what's the night? And I don't think Brandon played bad. I just thought it was just 2 3-point attempts. He went 2 for 2. That's dope. Again, highest field goal attempts on the team, 9 for 18. I thought Brandon for a while really kept the team afloat, really kept things at least somewhat competitive. But at the same time, you can't win this way. You just scored 153 points playing the other way. What the fuck are you doing?
And speaking of the other way, Ross, when the Bucks attempt 45 threes and you attempt literally half, you're usually not going to win that game. Like I don't like it, and Jarrett hits it on the head of this. I'll pause on this all the time, but you play one way, as Chaz is saying, and then the next day you play another way, and then you play another way. It's the consistency, and it's not overreacting over one loss. I want to make this very clear. It's the way you are losing these games against top 4 or 5 teams in the conferences. I'm okay. Right. I'm not like, look, I'm not. I get losing on the road. I know. I get losing on the road to Milwaukee. I get it. I get losing at home against Phoenix. Like, totally. Losing against home against OKC. I get they're good teams. The way you're losing, scoring 82 against OKC, getting your ass kicked against Phoenix, getting your ass kicked against the Clippers. Like, that's what I'm looking at. Like, it's not even competitive. That's my problem.
I'm so glad that I'm so glad that you just brought that up because there was one of those games in there, the game after Charlotte, which I had no problem with our loss. And you haven't heard me say one word about it. Phoenix. Because I thought in the Phoenix game, we missed a shitload of wide open threes and we took 40 something. We took 40, whatever. I don't know the exact number.
I think it was 40,
what do y'all look it up?
Something like that.
Well, we took 40 something in that game. That was the game after Charlotte where we shot the shit out of it at home. And I wasn't watching 10 of 42. And I wasn't watching the game. I had to drive that night. I'm listening to the game on the radio. I'm listening to Graf talk it up through the first half. So I'm just taking their word for it, and I didn't go back and watch it. But even after the first, it was after the first quarter, and then they said it again at halftime. And I think at halftime we might have been 1 for 20 or 2 for 20, something like that. People in the chat go double check, but it was 2 for something, maybe 2 for 21. And even Graf and Deshazer and whatever his name is, both said, man, those were a lot of wide open looks. We got good shots and we just didn't make them. I have no problem with us playing a way that is going to be conducive to long-term winning, and we just don't make shots. That's the NBA. The NBA, you are going to lose certain nights when they just don't go in for whatever reason. But I will never fault us for playing the right way and just missing open shots.
Right.
There's a huge difference in those things. This team doesn't play the same way night in and night out, both from a rotation perspective and a style of basketball perspective.
Oh, rotation.
They're insane.
And that's the problem. That is the problem.
Kai, what's up?
Fine to lose to Phoenix. You lose to Phoenix on a night where Devin Booker just fucking goes outside of his mind and you just can't make a shot. Fair enough. It's the NBA. That'll reverse itself tomorrow or the next day or in a week. Fine. What I can't get on board with is totally abandoning that style of play based off of missing some open shots.
It's insane. And that's the thing, bro. It's just like, okay, you make this huge point of emphasis on playing this way. You got Jen Hale talking about it in the pregame, and you show up and you just don't do it. Like, why? Like, what? Like, is someone uncomfortable?
Can I cut you off for 1 second? Can I
Go
cut you off for 1 second? I'm so sorry.
ahead.
Because
Of course.
I was actually driving to go get some milk for my wife, and I literally got that stat from the radio broadcast to go, stop me if you heard this time before, but the Bucks have 24 3-point attempts, and the Pelicans have whatever it was, 12. But go ahead, Chaz. They're seeing it.
It's insane. Like, look, we shared a couple clips from last game in the group chat, and it's just like, it was a couple instances like, bro, just shoot the three. What the fuck are you doing? You coming off the screen or you pulling up? Shoot the three. You know what to do here. You know what to do here. And not to let CJ out the hook. CJ's had a very bad couple of games, like back-to-back bad couple of games. So, and then you got some weird Hawkins rotations. Dyson just continues to be god awful. It was just JV was just totally overmatched, but we expected that. The only positive I could take away from tonight is guys made most of their fucking free throws. Zion 7 for 7. Brandon only missed 2. Then he went 5 for 7. But it's like, bro, this is not a rookie team. This is not a rookie team. This is not a bunch of motherfuckers that just met. Even when people were saying, like, oh, we got to see this team together. Y'all know me. I always say, I seen 10 games. I didn't need to see no more. I didn't need to see y'all together no more. I already know what this is.
I got to stop this.
Is like,
this I need you, Hakeem. Thank you for your comment. I need you to understand something. No, I don't want 5 Steph Currys on the court. What we're trying to say, it would be nice. What we're trying to say is that when you're trading 2s for 3s in simple math, you're going to lose the game, especially when those 2s are contested 2s. They're very hard shots. They're not very efficient shots. I'm not saying to bomb 63s a night. No one's saying that. They're just saying either paint touches or 3s. That's the fucking game. Like, we got to start evolving. I cannot stand this thought process. I'm sorry I'm losing my mind on you, but I'm not saying mid-range is a bad shot. It's not a bad shot, but there are better shots. There are better shots in the 24-second shot clock. This 24-second shot clock possession. That's what I'm trying to say.
We literally said last night, based on the way Trey played, it would be awesome if he would just pump fake, take 2 dribbles, and take a mid-range shot, jumper, wide open. It's like people can't disconnect things. They can't disconnect things just because we're saying that we don't like the shots that let's be open here. We complain about the shots Brandon Ingram takes, the contested mid-range jumpers in the middle to early point of the shot clock. That is, we don't think all like they're not all created the same. Just like all 3-pointers aren't created the same. We want to take a lot more 3-pointers. Every single person on this damn show has, to a person, said we don't like the Trey Murphy like 40-footers. I think that's a bad shot.
You know what else is crazy?
Context matters, people. You have to watch the games.
You know what else is crazy? The fucking team doesn't want him shooting those. The team, the coaches, the teammates, nobody wants him shooting these. Everybody like, yo, don't do this. The analytics department got to be like, bro, do not do this. Like, stop doing it. This
Chaz, then let's get into the real meat of the discussion tonight. Why does the same damn thing continue to happen over and over and over and over and over again?
The word is accountability. Go ahead, Chaz.
Well, truthfully, I think this team, I think Willie Green doesn't have a handle of the situation. I don't even believe Willie Green's in charge. Firstly, I think Willie Green is just the face of a bad product. There's zero accountability. I think they would rather lose playing the way Brandon wants to play. Again, tonight's game really isn't about Brandon. It's about the team in totality, because they would have lost this game with or without Brandon. But this team, they would rather lose playing one way than win playing another way. There's no, like, it's clear Griff is in the media. He's talking about guys who are leaders. He's not naming either of those two. He's talking, they re-implemented Point Zion out of fucking nowhere. Now it's a thing of the past after one fucking game, right? After setting this record, now it's a thing of the past. Then you got a guy who's not doing what you're asking him to do. You've asked him to do this for 3 seasons now. He's not doing it. It's getting progressively worse. He went 2 for 2 for night. That's great. That's below your season average of 3 attempts, right? You shot 18 shots. That's above your season average of about 16 attempts. This is insane. This shit like this is insane. Right? You get Trey Murphy, a DNP. How do you expect him to get out of the rut without playing?
No, I don't think the Trey thing was a DNP. I think
it was a rough game.
He had his earrings in. It was weird though, because Ali had reported and a couple other people reported, like, he went on the injury report, but like I don't know. He wasn't on the injury report. He was not on the injury report. So
if it was something weird, I don't know, but I'll apologize if it wasn't a coach's DNP. But you keep trotting Dyson out there. Like, at this point, bro, just play JRE. Just play JRE. Like, you keep trying. I don't know what Jose was doing out there tonight at all. Like, I don't understand the point of him playing out there at all. Like, it's just too many things that don't make sense. It don't make any kind of sense whatsoever. And it's just they have to know what they're doing is wrong. At worst, they don't know. Right. And at best, they're incompetent. At worst, they just don't know at all. Like, they just like, what the fuck? Like, it's bad. It's a bad situation.
Let's see. So I'm gonna get some of y'all's comment.
Hang on, Justin. So what do we think that what's the Trey story for tonight?
Oh,
we just all guessing.
I think I have no information on it. So from Guillory and Ali, they definitely, Trey wasn't on the injury report, so that's why I think a lot of people were confused. He was in sweats, like the Pelicans warm-up stuff, but he had his like diamond earrings in, so I don't think he was playing. So I don't know if there's like a designation, like I don't know, because do you log that as a coach's DNP or do you log that as injury?
It has to be a coach's DNP.
It has to be a coach's DNP.
So is that what I'm saying though? What I'm saying though is, like, I'm guessing is there something with the contract where he has to play enough games to get this amount of money. Like or he has to dress out for this many games because he's missed some games. Like, I don't know why they wouldn't just rule him out, because he's not playing back-to-backs yet. So I don't understand why he wasn't on the injury report, is what I'm trying to say. Like, is there something, like, why wouldn't he be on the injury report is what I'm saying.
It's always something fucking weird and bizarre with this team, bro.
Yeah, I mean, because I agree. It's always something weird and bizarre, because I have a problem with that. After being critical of the way Trey played in the last game, and we all acknowledge, I mean, it's not we all acknowledge, like, it's just a fact that he's in a shooting slump. Like, what?
I'll get to this, Brandon. I'm gonna get to this.
Why are we not playing? Like, why is he not out there? What? Like, you know, I mean, because if it's an injury thing, then he just shows up in the injury report as rest or recovery. You know, whatever they word the shit as rehab from injury, right? Like, I mean, Zion doesn't play a bunch of back. It's cool. People don't play back-to-backs. I get it. Well, why wasn't it designated that way? That's why I can't understand. I don't know.
Chaz.
So the stealth benching.
So I gotta bring this tweet up. I posted Dyson's stat line tonight. It was just another 17 minutes, 0 point. He just didn't give you anything offensively. People think I'm picking on him. I just gave out an actual fact. I legitimately just gave his stat line and a fact. And then Purple Knight right here goes, Herb got 4 years to learn how to shoot. So then I said Herb wasn't selected 8th overall.
He
and
got
Herb's also now a
4 years.
So I don't understand this type of thought process of like, look, guys, Dyson was drafted 8th overall. It's a fact. Lottery pick. I expect a little bit more than 17 minutes and an empty stat line when the Bucks, by the way, put up 100 and how much? I don't have the scoreboard up anymore. How many points did they put up?
141.
They put up 140. So your defense didn't matter anyways. You got to be able to impact games multiple ways, not just be a defender. And Herb Jones, by the way, Herb Jones has been doing that since last year. He's been impacting the game offensively too and defensively.
And unless I'm mistaken, this is also his 3rd year in the league. What the fuck?
I don't know.
Come from?
This is year 3, and Herb Jones is flirting with 50-40-90.
Yeah, 50-40-90.
Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here with that. I don't even have time for the comments like this. I really don't. Like, just get out of here.
Like, what the fuck is he? Like, look. Dyson doesn't do anything well enough to justify him being a total just awful player offensively. I thought when we were scouting Dyson Daniels, if you go back to my tweets, I was worried. I thought he was I don't know what the fuck they saw on film. I saw a terrible player in high school or whatever. I saw a terrible player in the G League. He's always been terrible. He's just not fucking good. Sometimes that happens. Like, motherfucker just not good. You know, it was a terrible miss. And truthfully, Dyson shouldn't have even been drafted. You got that pick should have been used to improve the overall roster, or you could have traded back and got multiple picks. Dyson is an awful player. You gotta, in fact, you might want to get rid of Dyson now before he gets even worse. You don't even have a history of developing underclassmen. Like, Dyson sucks. And people talk about the years Dyson played. Dyson was touted as a professional coming into this league. He was touted as a professional. He wasn't touted as some fucking raw prospect. This guy got all that athleticism in the world. No, that's not him. He was a professional. He can't pass. He can't dribble. He has no offensive skills whatsoever. He's an awful, awful player. He's a fringe NBA player. If Dyson wasn't 6'8", he'd be doing tours at the Australian Zoo, showing motherfuckers around or something. Dyson is awful. It's not even his fault. He shouldn't have been picked. That's on the front office.
Go ahead, show your picture.
Well, Ross, I was going to give you this one because Keel's just always quote tweeting Keel. We're okay on Twitter, but he's always quote tweeting about CJ McCollum. So I was like, I'll give you CJ. I mean, he struggled the past 2 games, but I don't think, once again, we're blaming the third option on the team.
Nope. Yeah. I'm not. I refuse to. I think CJ McCollum has had an incredible year. I think the more 3-pointers you take, the more. I've been saying this about Chaz, and this when he starts going to these rants, it's very Stephen A. Smith, Kwame Brown-esque. Like, it really, he can't shoot. He doesn't have any handle. You know? He doesn't have a move that he can put to memory that he can do more. I'm telling you, I need to clip that so that when Chaz goes on these rants, I can just like plug it in right after.
I bet you, Lala, we could get that one if you.
Now I'm gonna stop doing it because now I feel bad. I'm not gonna do it.
Well, no, you should do what's truthful, Chaz. That's what we do here. Yeah. I'm not gonna blame CJ for what's happened at all. If anyone on this team,
but you blame Brandon. You blame Brandon all the time. Why do you blame Brandon?
Because Brent, the expectations for a guy that's requesting $50 million is different than a guy that is, first off, 5 or 6 years older than him, that is our third option, and his contract is decreasing. Everybody does this whole thing about like, it's the same. The guy in the chat that always does, anytime we bring up Brandon, he says, well, I never played. It doesn't have anything to do with anyone else. The criticism of Brandon literally is his alone. It's his alone. We've seen the ceiling of this team with Brandon Ingram as its best player. It's not good. We've seen what Brandon Ingram can do. We can't double down on this roster. Everyone else is under contract. Zion is under contract longer term. CJ's contract is not only is he locked in for a few more years, it's decreasing, as Chaz has pointed out time and time again. He's 40 next month.
My dog's coming funny to me.
That is funny. That's a funny comment. Yeah, look, did CJ play good today? Hell no. We were going to lose today anyway. It's fine. If you want to criticize CJ, cool. We can talk about that he played shitty. That's great. We can waste our time here. But the thing that matters is that CJ is not what's going to cripple this team long term. It's not. He isn't. And to be honest with you, I don't even play the piano. I've said this a couple times. My wife and my kids play the piano. But in hindsight, after I watch us play the way we played the last few nights, I would rather listen to myself try to learn how to play piano than watch the games. Let's
hear from DraftKings. Make sure you smash that like button. So look, minute commercial, we'll take a minute break, then y'all gonna drive the show. We'll try to answer all y'all's questions, comments. We'll go from there. So let's hear from DraftKings. Looking for a super offer for Super Bowl 58? DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered. New customers can bet on the big game and turn $5 into $200 instantly in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code BOOT. New customers can bet $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 58 with code BOOT. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms.
You know, Justin, I'm glad to hear, I sit here and I listen to this DraftKings thing. We got a lot of fans who need to call that DraftKings gambling number because they want to gamble on this roster for 2 or 3 more years. They do. They seriously. I get all these people. We're a young team. You got to just believe. You got to just trust. We haven't had 3 or 4 years yet. They want to. I mean, that's what it is. That's scratch offs. We got people that want to play scratch offs.
You know what?
You know what a scratch off's going to win you? That fucking Nomar Garcia Parra jersey behind you.
Look, Brian, now you took it to a whole different level. Don't ever disrespect Nomar Garcia Parra ever again on the show. What's what? All right, go ahead, Chaz. I'm sorry.
Look, man. Sometimes, and look, man. Just we gotta just go ahead and be honest about this team. This team it's been cannibalizing on some poor teams, or they might catch a team with a break. Mind you, again, Chris Middleton didn't even play tonight. The Bucks didn't even play like super well. You know what I'm saying? The Pelicans are just so bad at this is the same team that went in a heavyweight battle with the Pistons at home. And that's what got their coach fired. Ironically, they didn't even have a motherfucking coach or a leader out there tonight. They're the leader of themselves. And it's just this team is just so bad, bro. Like it's so there's no IQ, there's no sense of what's happening. Like, perfect fucking example. Okay,
shot clock.
That's two. All right, Larry Nance has no idea what's going on. Right, he's at the top of the left. He's on the left wing. Right, clock dwindling down. Has no idea what's going on. Gets the ball to CJ too late. Time runs out. Turnover, right?
That was the shot clock violation.
Yeah, shot clock violation, right? But this is the one that showed me, ooh, yeah, that's enough. I've seen enough. It's enough. Brandon and Zion in transition is some ugly shit. So Zion gets the steal, right? Kicks it. I don't know if he kicked it to Brandon or what happened. I think he kicks it to Brandon. Brandon stops. Right, stops and does a turnaround fadeaway in transition. Shot misses. Right,
his voice is cracking. I've never heard his voice crack before.
Yo, I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Look, I started to text y'all and I was went like this. I just put the phone down. I was like, what the fuck are you doing, sir? What the fuck are you doing? Like, it was just mind-blowing. Like, there's no way the front office sees this team and is saying, yeah, I need to triple down on this. And CJ probably ends up being the scapegoat, but CJ not asking you for $55 million fucking dollars. So let's
as you pointed out, CJ's on declining
it's
contract.
a steadily declining contract. He might as well be on a fucking mid-level exception going into like future years. Like that's how cheap his contract gonna be.
So Ross, I mean, back to I guess the $1 million question. What changes do you want to see then? Like, all we do is complain, right? All we do is bitch and complain. Well, what do you want to see change then?
I'm ready to see moves. I'm ready to see action. I think at this point, you're 26-20. You are, I didn't think we were a threat. We talked about this earlier in the show. I didn't think we were a championship threat this year anyway. My goal for this team was to win a first round series. I'm very skeptical that even that can happen. We look more like a play-in team today than we do a legitimate, first round kind of, a go walk into your first round series, win 5 or 6 games team. To me, I'm ready to see action. I really am. I need to see changes. Chaz has done shows on it. We've talked about it ad nauseum. That this team is in a precarious financial decision. Financial situation this summer where you're looking at Brandon Ingram's long-term extension. You're looking at Trey Murphy's long-term extension. You've got, other players. You've got, JV obviously on an expiring. I don't think we need to sort of revisit this entire thing because we've beaten it to death. But what I need to see is action, because I think inaction is doubling down on what you have.
It's malpractice
right.
at this point.
It's malpractice at best, right? Like if you're doing nothing, to me, that's you're co-signing what you have. What you have is a loser. Okay, that's and again, this is it's not me. It's not
probably
hyperbole.
The nicest comment. Sorry, it's probably one of the nicest comments we've gotten, because watching the Brendan, I appreciate you. Congrats on the Twins, but my God, appreciate you, man. thanks for watching.
And it's tough. I'm right there with you, Brendan.
I'm right there.
I got little kids too. It's brutal to watch. Nobody wants to watch this because that's the expectations you have is for a team that's going to entertain, that's going to be fun to watch. It's going to win games, and this team just is not doing that. Justin, to go back to your question, I need to see activity. If they make a move and it's the wrong move, I can at least justify the fact that they tried to improve the roster in the right way. I can't justify in any way doing nothing because you've now seen what nothing looks like. You've seen it. We have the evidence. We can no longer say, ooh, man, what does this team look like if they're all healthy? Our starting lineup is a negative.
It's
a negative.
Even bigger
a negative.
Tonight. Like,
I can't continue to there is no justification for doubling down on this. There's no justification for even continuing this for one more day. I need to see activity. I need to see action. I need to see changes. Otherwise, we are okay with mediocrity. And that's what we have right now. I don't care what the move is. I don't even care anymore.
That was funny.
I have my opinion on what the move should be, but it doesn't matter. No move is failure to act.
You're at a point, and we've seen this happen with several organizations in the past, right? Be it like going in one direction or the other. It's time for you need some wholesale changes. Like you need some wholesale changes. It's time, and there's a possibility that a couple of players may feel like it's time also. You got your two best players, or arguably your two best players, don't fit. They don't fit. They don't even coexist well, right? They both had somewhat efficient games that had zero impact on the game overall, right? It's a bad product. It's a terrible product, right? And it's just what do you do? Like, what do you do in a situation? You can't believe, like, we talk about Dyson, but it ain't Dyson's fault we lost. We can talk about Larry. It ain't Larry's fault we lost. Your star players don't perform like star players consistently. They're a terrible fit. Your coach is probably one of the, if not the worst coach in the association, and by far, he's by far.
Chaz, you said you're too soon. So I said
superstars. I said stars.
Sorry, you're right. I'm sorry. I definitely misused that word. You said your two stars. Don't shoot threes. They haven't been very star worthy. So then back to the head coaching, how, if Willie's two main guys, I'm not, I'm not saying you're wrong or right. I'm just saying question wise. So if his two main guys are not performing at the all-star level they should be, then how can you blame the coach?
Great question. I'll tell you how I could blame Willie Green. Because a part of the reason that they're not performing at a higher level is because of Willie Green. He's choosing to enable himself he's choosing to enable Brandon. He's choosing to go in that direction. It's a clear choice. I don't even know if he's the only motherfucker that wants to do that, like at this point, because the call came from somewhere. The call came from somewhere to do something different. And all of us, and you score all these points, is all over the news, is everywhere, and then you totally abandon it, right? You're choosing like tonight, and the local media, and I'm not saying nobody's name, local media in New Orleans is fucking weak. The local media in New Orleans is fucking weak. Because there's a bunch of stories, there's a bunch of things going on that people are afraid to address. I am tired of Brandon having a weird game, and it's a blowout, and he checks back in at the end of the game to try to get some numbers. That happens all the time. This game, like he played like 2 fucking minutes tonight and like this weird scheduled minutes rotation. And like, what's the point? If he goes out there and twists his ankle, now you look fucking stupid. That you're down by 30. Why is he back out there? Or even if you're up by 30. Oh, Brandon got 36 points. Let's put him back in the game. We're up by 30. Let's see if he can get 40. It's like you do this all the time. They did it against Charlotte. Like, and the stupid thing is, if CJ has that same scenario, or if Zion has that same scenario, JV, everybody, you're not seeing them no more. You know how many fucking games Zion had like 36 points, 35 points on like 12 attempts, and they're like, all right, Zion, come sit down. Or he might have 9 assists, 10 rebounds, going for triple-double. All right, come sit down. CJ got 9 assists. CJ, come sit down. Why are you like... Stop doing this stupid, unprofessional, goofy shit. No one does this. No good team does this.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing with the local media, Chaz, is that they don't even show up to practice. Like literally, no one shows up. WDSU, WWL, like none of these Fox, like they don't like they're not even there.
Shout out Joe, man. My man, Joe, bro. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Joe. Real quick, folks. Justin, this is a huge issue. It really is. This shit would never ever happen.
Christian, Will, and me, and Shamit before he broke his leg were always there.
When was last time David Griffin got in front of the camera?
It's been a very long time.
Didn't he do a sideline report?
The season ticket thing, right? He did a sideline report.
He got in front of the camera on the what was that maybe Denver?
Yeah,
and that was a national TV game, and I think we ended up losing the game.
Yeah.
You're right. I think he did. He answered a handful of questions. I want to say it was Reggie Miller or maybe somebody else. You're right. So I knew the answer to my own question. He's got questions. To me, it's one of those deals where, hey, what are you doing? What are we doing this offseason? Who are we looking at? The fact that the whole thing is just able to just kind of coast by. It's almost like we keep going back to this double down thing of for years they held behind the excuse of we just don't get to see this team healthy, right? We don't know what Zion can do healthy. Zion wasn't very good tonight either. We don't know what it all looks like. There's no continuity. We haven't, they haven't been able to build any chemistry, this, that, and the other. And this almost feels like an extension of that. We've gotten to see it. Now what? Now you have to actually do your job because you've seen it. We've all seen it, right? Now do your job. What's next? If we go through this all-star break and do nothing, it will be a failure in the highest order.
Unacceptable. That's why it's just like, even with it's all not even just the small things. It's so many things that I look at with this team. And as a person who watches other teams, I'm like, other teams don't do shit like this. Like in a blowout loss, like, your players need to be answering questions. An embarrassing loss, your main players need to be answering fucking questions. They need
pressure.
To be on, no pressure. And they need to be at the podium. They need to be on the podium.
There's no pressure.
No pressure whatsoever. They get this.
Nobody putting heat on Willie Green. Nobody putting heat on David Griffin. Nobody putting heat on Zion. The only time Zion ever gets any heat is when he's just grossly overweight. And then he ducks off for 2 weeks. Nobody ever puts heat on Brandon Ingram, ever.
That's
all
why
these people, they just get to coast by. The fact that Brandon Ingram thinks he's about to coast into a $40+ million extension with this team is fucking insane. The fact that David Griffin isn't having to regularly answer questions about, hey, is this the right thing for the franchise moving forward? This is going to basically lock up our cap space, this, that, and the other moving forward. He doesn't have to answer any of those questions. Willie Green, why are we shooting more three-pointers? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? Why do we play one way against Charlotte? Why do we play one way against Phoenix, even though we lose? And then we abandon that. What's going on? Why is there no continuity in terms of the way we play? Why was Jose the first off the bench in the last game? That's a new. Nobody has seen. Why don't we fucking ask any questions?
I thought this was. I think this is a great point by Slim Chilling. This is another point I wanted to make. Why I was so upset after the Denver, or I keep saying Denver, after the Clippers lost and after the Suns lost and even after the Thunder lost. 3 great crowds. 2 of them were. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chaz. 2 of them were nationally broadcast, or not nationally. Sorry, locally broadcasted on Fox 8, and you got blown out both times. Those are great opportunities. Not only you have a sold out crowd to show out for the fans, win or lose. Like you can still show out, be competitive, make it exciting. Right. 3 Friday nights in a row, you got your ass kicked in front of a packed house. To me, it's not a loss, not just a single loss. It's the way you lose and how you lose. Those are the biggest things for me.
This team doesn't have a ton of pride. And you know what it is? It's one of those things where the team go out and get embarrassed a bunch of times. And then somebody say, that loss is good. That's what we needed. We needed a loss like that to put things back in perspective. It's like, dude, you know how many I had to leave a group chat earlier this year because I'm like, bro, I can't keep doing this. You know how many legacy games this team has had so far? How many must-win games? It's like we halfway through the fucking season, and you're talking about, this is. Hey, if you would have told me, what I say? If you would have told me, we'd be 26-20, controlling our own destiny.
Sound like Ross. Controlling our own destiny with 46 games in. Of course, we control our own destiny.
With a cash pick. No, shout out to MGM. Look, Mark Cuban is on the motherfucking phone.
It's a war chest.
War chest. And look, you got Griff dumbass like, we look at the guys on our team. We got a one-time all-star reserve in Brandon Ingram, and no one's going to outwork him. If anyone's going to tell you can't make the club in the tub, it's going to be Jonas Valanciunas. There's a lot of guys around this league who really envy the assets we have. And when we're ready to make a move, we have ownership that's willing to give us the bandwidth we need to go all in and pay the tax. And I think right now it's about proving it. And it's about proving it consistently. It's about showing you got the gumption and the testicular fortitude to go out there and organically put things together and do it night in and night out. You're talking about one of the greatest fan bases in the NBA right now. And these guys show up. Friday night was packed. And I had people who worked in this arena tell me, Griff, for years, we've been wanting to see teams like this that play well. And now these guys are here and they're healthy and they're playing well. You got a leader like CJ McCollum, and you got a hard-working, hard-nosed defender, lunch pail guy like Dyson Daniels. You know how many teams wanted to trade up for Dyson Daniels? You know how many teams call us? We had to beat them off with a stick. They're calling us every day, Dyson Daniels. We want Dyson Daniels on our roster. I say, hey, he's untouchable. Hands off. And there's plenty of coaches in the league and envious front offices. I have to put my phone on do not disturb. I'm laying down, and hey, my phone is blowing up every night. Guys are telling me, hey, I just saw you put up 153 points. They say I didn't even bother watching the other games because I saw what you guys did. You put up 153 points. I need that in my organization. I say, hey, back off. These guys are not for sale. This is a family. And that's what we're dealing with. Thank you. And there's going to be no fucking follow-up questions. No follow-up questions. Thank you. No
yes, that was someone might call that like top 2 moment of the show.
That's
that was
unbelievable.
Terrible.
I don't even know what wow.
Just start taking fan questions. I got nothing else.
All of them are laughing my ass off.
I cede my time to the starred questions at this point.
All right, so I guess let's get these last 2. We'll go like 10 more minutes. So Jeremiah, I'll answer this because before I get to Chaz is going to jump off the screen. It's absolutely not even close to happening. This should have happened 2 years ago when you got Satoransky and Garrett Temple, but it's.
I don't think so, bro.
Ross, no, it's a serious question. I'm not being asked. This is back-to-back nights. Right? There's no fucking way. I keep saying this. You can't. Matt Ryan's got to play. If he comes back and he's fully healthy, he has to play. And everyone's like, well, someone goes, well, who's spotted? Or well, what's the rotation then? Any minutes of Najee, Jose, or Dyson. Pick one of those three and put the 47% 3-point shooter in the lineup. One of those three. I don't care. But he's got to play, Ross, when he comes back. I don't give a fuck if it's 7 minutes. The dude can catch fire and change a game. You've seen it multiple times. I know you're about to go red in the face, but you've seen it multiple times.
You know, I'm dreading this moment. I really am. Because I agree. I agree.
Got a plan.
We've now, like, I tried to fight the good fight. I don't think this guy is much. But the one thing he can do is shoot the basketball. I've seen enough of Dyson Daniels. I don't care about defense anymore. I really don't. Not in a second unit. You know, I think there are times where your first unit has to defend late in the game. You've got to have guys that can, in certain situations, tighten up and get a stop. Middle of the game, just give me the guy that can put the ball in the basket. I've seen Dyson. I've seen enough of. The guy I've been saying from the get-go that I don't need to see anymore, period, is Najee Marshall. If Najee Marshall plays 1 minute over Matt Ryan, I'm literally might break my laptop. Like if there's a game where I just don't show up into the post game when Matt Ryan's gets a DNP and Najee Marshall plays, it's because I literally broke my computer and I can't show up. I think there's a million Najee Marshalls. I think I could go find you a Najee Marshall in the open gym I run in every week.
No, I don't. No.
I think there's Najee Marshalls all over. I truly believe this, and that's fine if you disagree. I think there are Najee Marshalls all over the G League. I think he's just a run of the mill ninth guy, like fifth or sixth guy off the bench, hustles, whatever. I truly believe that, and that's okay if you think there's something more than that. I watch NBA every night, not just the Pelicans. I watch it every single night. I think Najee Marshall's just a regular guy. Just a regular dude. I don't think there's one noticeable thing he does. What does Matt Ryan do at a very good level?
He shoots the ball.
He shoots the ball at a very good level. What is the one thing Najee does at a very good level?
Well, let's see. Hold up.
Stats ain't gonna show it to you. You better give me some fucking ancillary shit.
He's shooting a career high 37% from deep this year. Wow. But Matt Ryan's shooting 47. No, I think
not a knock on Najee Marshall. I appreciate him. I think he hustles. He's not.
Yeah, I think he's a hustle guy, energy guy.
That's awesome.
I thought he was going to lean more into the enforcer. I thought he was going to lean more into that enforcer role. I really did.
That was his own fault.
I thought there was
an opportunity there for him to be a tough guy, and he didn't lead into it enough. Like a legitimate tough guy, not a like, oh yeah, he's a really he plays hard or whatever. No, there's a difference in the guy who plays hard and a tough guy, and he didn't even take that. I just think there's a lot. I just would rather see Matt Ryan. So I take it. So there you go. Let's get where maybe he can get us a DoorDash like sponsorship or something. I don't know.
Man, I think this team is just too dependent upon just guys that you don't really know what you're gonna get from on any given night. Like it's just far too. At least with Hawkins, like a guy like Hawkins, every night what he's coming out there to do. You know what I'm saying? Out there, you got an investment. The guys you got investment in, you gotta. I just feel like this team is just married to too many weird ways of doing things, and they're not consistently looking to upgrade. And then the part they don't understand is the longer you hold certain assets, they depreciate. Like, Najee earlier.
Get off the fucking Lakers pick.
Yeah. Najee earlier this year when he was having that crazy shooting output from the corner.
God, should have been.
That's where we moved Najee. Look, and I don't think Larry's played bad recently, but when Larry was like setting shit on fire for that 2-3 game stretch, that's when you get rid of him. Like, it's even JV. Even JV is like now it's so many things that I don't know if you have any type of appreciation on this roster. It seems like maybe Hawkins is like everybody else right now. You're probably selling or trading at a loss. And it's crazy because it don't have to do this. It don't have to be this way. Teams that you're better than right now, that you're in the same tier as, or teams that you're quote unquote better than, they have more avenues than you to get better. They have more, like the Kings can package Barnes and Herter and some picks and get better easily. They just haven't pulled the trigger yet. They could have went ahead and traded for Pascal and say, fuck, I don't care if you don't want to stay here. You're gonna play here this year. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck.
That's where we should be with DeJounte Murray.
And look, exactly.
Figure it out. Indiana. Doesn't matter. He's better than what we got. Figure it out.
Pascal,
if it don't work, if it don't work, if it doesn't work, you'll be able to trade him for the exact same shit that you fucking bought him for.
Right.
In a year.
Oh my God.
Not only that, you know who to get rid of. Like, no matter what, that's why even when we were winning games, I always said nothing has fundamentally changed. Nothing has fundamentally changed with this team. This is not a team you pay the tax for.
No.
Yeah, you want to appreciate the comment, AC.
AC, appreciate it. I need y'all to check y'all's text messages.
I will check it.
I just know it's something crazy.
AC, look, I'll give you my response to this. Is it we've seen this team be able to score points whenever we spread the floor around Zion. It has nothing to do. In fact, I'm on paper saying I don't want Zion shooting threes. I have never been one of these guys that says I think that's something that he needs to add to his game. I don't think Zion needs to add the three-pointer to his game at all, because I think the pressure that he puts on the rim creates opportunities for everybody else, and you've seen that. I think, Justin, what was the stat a couple of days ago for the last month? People are shooting. I saw you put it on. You got
put it on Instagram. Zion Williamson passes.
Yeah, it's some obscene percentage. We've seen this offense be elite whenever you just put shooters around Zion Williamson. That's my point. It has nothing to do about playing one-on-one basketball. I don't want to play isolation AAU basketball. That's what Brandon Ingram plays. That's why we lose. That's why the offense looks like shit on nights tonight.
And the crazy part is, even Brandon is shooting 40% on Zion catch and shoot.
Exactly.
So why?
It's the most ironic, pure irony.
Crazy. It's crazy, bro. It's
so why wouldn't you lean into that then, Chaz?
Bizarre intimate relationships. There's a lot of bizarre intimate relationships on this team. And look, Brandon Ingram has a heart of gold. I told him I wish I had 15 Brandon Ingrams on this team. If I had a daughter, I wanted her to marry a guy like Brandon Ingram. Like this is the type of shit we dealing with. I don't know how Griff even got in the building. I don't know how this motherfucker got hired. It's such a bizarre, weird relationship, bro. It's so bizarre. And I'm
Chaz, so let me ask this. I don't want you to get. Because I'm actually focused on. Okay, so you have a record-setting franchise record-setting night.
Oh my God,
with Zion at the one, and then you don't see it tonight. So why the change? What happened right there?
You know what's crazy? It's not that you didn't see it tonight. You saw it when the game was out of hand. You saw it kind of more when the game, like Brandon's on the bench and they're like, all right, we down by 25. Zion
goes.
Yeah,
and
Zion, let's see if we can figure this out.
Late in the third, right?
Yeah, in the third. Yeah. And it's like, motherfucker, it's too late now. Like, it's over. So it's like, I truthfully think this is a Brandon problem. We know this is going on since Stan Van Gundy. What happened with Stan Van Gundy is a huge miscarriage of justice, right? Brandon is he doesn't want to play a different type of way. When you see him, when the point Zion shit gets deployed, he's sulking. He's just totally uncomfortable with the entire thing. And I think they use this game as a way to kind of, make it up to him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Well, oh, Brandon, but won't you go out there tonight? You do whatever you want. Kind of like with the Charlotte game I referenced a couple times earlier. It is so painfully obvious. There's no buy-in from this man. There's no buy-in from him. There's none. There's no buy-in. None. Right? And here's the crazy part. This point Zion shit, this is the third difference in the offense. Because initially, it was point Brandon. It was point Brandon, and they had to abandon that and start playing like they were playing last year. Then they went to point Zion for one game, and now they've abandoned that. All to come right back to playing how they played last year. It's fucking stupid.
It's crazy, Justin, and this is why it's like we talk so much about Brandon. For a lot of ways, for me, it's not Brandon, it's Willie.
Yeah.
Because if you go look at, do you know what Brandon Ingram is shooting from three since December 1st? No, since December 1st.
No.
What do you just give me a guess? What you think it is?
27.
Just give me a number.
I think it's
27.
It says in the
from three. What do you think he's shooting?
33, 34?
Yeah, 41%. Since December 1st. He's shooting 41% from three. 41% from three.
How many attempts?
And here's your problem.
One attempt.
On about 3.5 a game.
Oh, God. All right.
How is that allowed? How? This would be, imagine if it was the opposite. Okay. Think about it in this way. If Zion was shooting 70% at the rim, but was taking the majority of his shots from three, everyone would be losing their mind. Every time he took a three, what would happen? You'd take him the fuck out. You'd pull him out of the game. And I'm not saying Willie would do that, but that's what should happen. This is why the frustration builds. Is why are we not? It's not even that he can't.
What if he's not comfortable shooting the threes? What if he's not comfortable?
Who gives a fuck why he's not comfortable doing it? He's shooting 41% from there for over 26, 27 games. This is crazy to me.
So you're just gonna bench him? You're just gonna bench him?
I would pull him out of the game anytime he passes up a three-pointer. I'd pull him out.
Ross, this is the NBA. This isn't high school.
I don't give a baker's fuck whether it's the NBA or the goddamn fucking Korean League. Do you want to win basketball games or do you not want to win basketball games? It's absurd. We bitch all the time about these things. Think about that. He's shooting 41% from three since December 1st, and he will pass them up like it's his fucking job. And we do nothing. Our coaching staff does nothing.
Nothing.
It's insanity.
Herb Jones
fucking crazy.
Herb Jones has more made threes than Brandon Ingram.
He won't take the shot. He's good at the shot. Like, think about that. It's crazy. He won't shoot it. I'm serious. I would force this dude. I would say, man, if you don't take 6 3-pointers this game, you're not fucking playing the next game. What's the difference? We're not any good anyway. We're a mediocre team anyway. So what? He plays, he doesn't take the shots, he doesn't sit the next game, we lose anyway. Whoop-de-fucking do. We're basically a 500 team no matter what. I don't understand why we're not building a culture of you are either going to play like this or you're not going to play like this. This is how you win. You think imagine Steve Kerr, who I don't even fucking like Steve Kerr. I don't even like that motherfucker. What would Steve Kerr do in this situation? It's just crazy to me that we allow this. That's what I'm saying. I want to blame Brandon, but it's not even like.
All right, Ross, let me bring that one up for you. No.
Y'all told him to stop shooting threes. Make up your mind.
Who the fuck ever said that?
What do you mean he can't shoot threes? I just said he can shoot them motherfuckers. I don't even know what this means. Like, if you're making a shot, take more of them. Like, whatever. I'll address it. Like, that's fine. I just told you that since December 1st on 85 3-pointers, he's shooting 41%. This goes back to the same thing I said about Herb Jones, and everybody was like, yeah, but it's like, no, go back a full year. Give me a full year of Herb Jones data. He's shooting 40% from three. Cool. That's enough evidence for me to say, you know what? I don't want you passing these motherfuckers up anymore. You get a wide open look from three, shoot it. If you don't shoot it, coming out. Simple as that. You know what? And if you take 50 more of these fuckers and you don't make any of them, all right, cool. Then we'll readdress, right? But if you're making those shots over 40 games, over a long period of time, I need you. Like, that's the way the NBA is played now. If you're making those shots, I need you to take more of them. I don't need you to take less of them. I don't need you to pass wide open looks of them. That's crazy. This is not this. That's what I'm saying. This is my biggest issue with Willie and I guess secondarily Brandon, right? Is that Brandon won't take them and then we don't force him to take them. It would help him. It would help the team. and it would make Willie not look like a dumbass.
Bro, like people like we're talking about DeJounte, and me and Justin, we've been talking about DeJounte for years at this point, right? Bro, DeJounte Murray has
Don't even do it.
I'm not even gonna do it.
No,
it's not even worth it.
Chaz, share the link. I want you to go get the damn link, drop it in the chat, and be like, me and you talked about this 2 summers ago. 2 summers ago. And Chaz, remember, we don't need DeJounte Murray. What?
He can't shoot.
Point guard. He can't shoot. And we did a show, Chaz. We did a show. And we got, oh man. I know I sent you that link like a couple of weeks ago. Kevin, appreciate you, man. We appreciate all y'all, man. I don't know. Appreciate y'all.
Man, this dude, this is my guy over here. I just pulled up his comment, but my man Donald I feel like always has a good
Donald's
name.
Hey, Donald and David got shirts coming to y'all, so that's in the mail. I think I emailed
Donald just said it best. Willie only holds certain people accountable. And I think 5, and I want to say Chaz have talked about it more than others. Trey will get pulled. JV will get pulled. He's got to stop playing favorites. Like, just, man, come on. Stop playing favorites.
If you have favorites,
demand perfection. Demand it.
Weird, bizarre, intimate relationships. Once I saw Monty Williams wipe Willie Green's face, I knew this team was like, people thought I was joking. I knew it was over. His man went like this to Willie Green's face. His face. I knew it was over. And look at Monty right now. Look at Monty right fucking now. That's the future. That's who Willie aspires to be. He like, if I can only make it to Monty's level. This is what we're dealing with. This is what
he was crying.
Crying.
Ross,
tears.
You want the final 5 seconds?
Yeah, sure. I'll take them motherfuckers. For this team to go, hey, one more thing. This is my shout out to Lito. One more thing. For this team to get where they really want to go, and that is not making the playoffs. That is not, doing all of these other ancillary bullshit things, doing something in the in-season tournament. If you want to become a team that is a legitimate threat to get to the Western Conference Finals or an NBA Finals, or God forbid, win one, you have to start evaluating yourself on a more shorter term basis, right? We have a team of veterans. If we go through this damn All-Star break and we don't do a damn thing, we are, in my opinion, co-signing on a team that is mediocre as hell.
Punting.
If you want to co-sign to that, that's on you. Find you another show to watch. I ain't co-signing on it.
Smash the like button. Later.